I almost forgot. Story time. December 17 of Gnome Valley Christmas Adventure. In the troll forest, Totte and Bertie run around playing hide and seek. But as they play, they don't notice the sun quickly going down, despite it being afternoon. But Totte and Buteo have fun and come further and further away from the big old stump. A while later, the troll forest is pitch black. Owls hoot and the full moon shines over the sparkling snow. "Do you know where we are?" Totte asks Buteo while looking around. Buteo looks around and sees a manly figure holding a lantern in one of his hands. "Look over there! Maybe he knows the way home," Buteo says and points at the manly figure. Buteo and Totte run after him. Excuse me, sir. Could you help us? We are lost and we'd like to go home." Buteo shouts at the manly ghost figure, who turns out to be the dreaded Lantern Man. The Lantern Man stops and turns slowly around towards the boys. Buteo and Totte's faces turn pale in fear, but Teo struggles not to wet himself when he and Totte see the Lantern Man's scary, abhorrent face, his glowing eyes, and his skeletal hands. "What do you want?" the Lantern Man says with his deep, dark voice and glares angrily at the boys. "Could you help us find our way back home, sir? We live in the big old stump." Totte stutters and trembles in fear. "Follow me," the Lantern Man says grumpily and starts walking. Buteo and Totte follow him. In the gnome village, Papa Gnome looks through the window in the kitchen. He looks worried. "Only the Lantern Man would be out on a dark night like this, and Totte isn't home yet. I better go look for him," Papa Gnome tells Mama Gnome and decides to go to the troll forest. Mama Gnome lights a lantern and gives it to Papa Gnome. "Be careful, darling," Mama Gnome says and looks worried. "Yes, I will be, dear," Papa Gnome tells Mama Gnome, kissing her. Then Papa Gnome steps outside and closes the door. A while later, Buteo and Totte get the feeling that they walk the wrong direction. "Hey, Buteo, should we tell the old man that this isn't the right way to the big old stump?" Totte says and looks concerned. "I think it's best not to bother him," Buteo replies, but agrees that it looks more like they're in the forbidden forest, which they are. "Are you small fry still following me?" the Lantern Man shouts and stops by a random stump. "Here's your little stump, you small fry. Now I don't have time with you anymore. Now get away, you little blue-dressed mushroom. And you too, you little curry-obsessed buck-toothed Paki." Sorry to all the Pakistanis out there. And you too, you little curry-obsessed buck-toothed Paki, the Lantern Man shouts at Totte and Buteo before he leaves. Totte and Buteo stare at the Lantern Man as he disappears between the dark trees. Then the boys look at each other with surprised looks, shivering in the cold. Buteo, what's a Paki?" Totte asks carefully. It's an offensive word for a person, gnome or troll from Pakistan, so avoid using it. I'm an Indian Parsi troll, so that lantern man seems to be ignorant or maybe even racist. Butteo says with furrowed eyebrows. What's racist or racism? Racism is discrimination and prejudice against people based on their race or ethnicity. And a racist believes that some races are better than others. At least that's what Falcon and Milvus taught me, Butteo says and looks sad. Totte hugs Butteo. I don't care about what that lantern man said. You will always be my best friend. Totte and Butteo smile at each other. And you'll always be my best friend, Butteo says and hugs back. In the troll forest, Papa Gnome walks with his little lantern in the darkness, calling Totte's name. Milvus and Falcon, riding on their night watch, hear Papa Gnome calling Totte's name. Milvus rides towards Papa Gnome with a flaming torch in his hand. Papa Gnome, I suggest that you return home. We've seen the lantern man around here, so stay inside until dawn, Milvus says, looking concerned. Yeah, you're right, but Totte hasn't come home yet, Papa Gnome says and looks worried. Don't worry, Papa Gnome. We will find him, and Butteo as well, Falcon says, smiling kindly. Oh, thank you so much. I better return to Mama Gnome now, Papa Gnome says and turns around. Hey, Papa Gnome, once we find Totte, we will inform you, Milvus shouts at Papa Gnome and smiles. That's great, Papa Gnome shouts back and returns to the gnome village. Butteo and Totte seek shelter under a spruce tree with an unusually wide trunk. Butteo gathers some sticks and struggles to create a fire. The wind blows so hard and cold that it's impossible to get a flame. Totte pushes himself closely to Butteo and trembles like a little leaf. It's unusually cold tonight, Butteo says and shudders. I hope Falcon and Milvus will find us, Totte says and looks sad. Butteo wraps his arm around Totte, looking around. I hope so as well, Butteo says and keeps looking around. Butteo quickly gets up and snatches a couple of big branches covered in pine needles. He puts them on Totte to keep him warm. Whatever you do, Totte, don't fall asleep, Butteo says and breathes on his frost-nipped hands. Then he wraps his arm around Totte. I'm so tired, Totte says as his eyelids get heavy. Yeah, but if you fall asleep now, you will never wake up again, Butteo says with tears in his eyes and a lump in his throat. But then Butteo has an idea. He takes one of the long sticks and rubs it against the tree trunk, and a little flame appears. Totte looks happily at the little flame and sees a table with warm and delicious Christmas food on it. But as Totte jumps after the table, he lands in a pile of snow. The flame went out, Butteo says, looking sadly at the charred stick. Totte buries his face into Butteo's chest, trembling like a little scared fawn. Falcon and Milvus ride on their horses in full gallop. Milvus noticed the faint tracks of Totte and Butteo's feet in the white snow. In the white snow. This way, Milvus says firmly and follows the tracks. Falcon rides after and looks worried. Butteo sits with Totte in his arms and tears run down his frost-nipped cheeks. He wants to run to get help, but refuses to leave Totte when Butteo suddenly feels an urge to relieve himself. Falcon had once told Butteo that a good soldier never leaves a man behind. So he stays with Totte. Butteo looks with sorrowful eyes up to the starlit sky, but soon he focuses on his full bladder and lifts up Totte carefully and leaves the spruce tree. The wind howls loudly and the snowflakes fly around, like maple leaves on a stormy autumn night. Butteo struggles to find somewhere to relieve himself, but finally finds a pile of snow. Butteo carefully puts Totte's body on the ground and struggles to unbutton his pants with his frost-nipped hands. After Butteo relieved himself, Butteo carefully picks up Totte's body and returns to the spruce tree. As Butteo sits down with Totte in his arms, he sees a tawny owl looking at him, sitting on a branch. "Ove, find Falcon and Milvus now, please. Totte and I will freeze to death soon." Butteo shouts at the owl. "Of course, of course." Ove the tawny owl hoots and flies away. Butteo leans towards the tree trunk, waiting for his brothers. "Now we're in the forbidden forest," Falcon says, looking concerned. "You don't say," Milvus says and smirks. Then Milvus' horse Bedini sniffs the ground and smells the yellow spot on the snow. "We're getting close," Milvus shouts at Falcon when over the tawny owl appears. Butteo's pointy ears perk up and hears the sound of galloping horse hoofs. Butteo takes the rest of the sticks and lights them all at the same time. "There they are! Hurry up!" Milvus shouts and follows the light from the tiny flames on Butteo's sticks. Falcon hurries after. "Milvus! Falcon!" Butteo shouts, and Milvus jumps off his horse and runs towards him and Totte. "Now I'm getting spanked for sure," Butteo thinks for himself, but Milvus gives Butteo a quick hug before looking after Totte's body. "Whatever you do, little brother, never follow that damn lantern man again," Milvus tells Butteo before turning to Totte. Falcon jumps off Bulsara and rushes towards Butteo. Butteo howls and throws himself at Falcon, who wraps his arms around his little brother and hugs him. Falcon sheds a couple of tears. Butteo tries to utter words, but he shivers and cries so much while Falcon hushes him. But then he manages to talk to Falcon. "The lantern man fooled us and brought us here, and he called me a Paki," Butteo shouts between tears as he gets out of breath. He buries his tear-drenched face into Falcon's chest. There. The most important thing is that we are together again. And the lantern man has called me far worse things," Falcon says, comforting Butteo. "Like what?" Butteo asks and sobs. "Something I don't want you kids to learn. Kids should not learn bad or offensive words." "Why?" "Because people can get hurt emotionally when they are called bad or offensive words. Totte still has a pulse, but he needs to be brought inside immediately," Milvus says and carefully picks up Totte. Milvus jumps up on Bedini and prepares to ride back home. I bring Tote home immediately and contact Dr. Tornio, Milvus shouts firmly. Do so, Bertio and I come after, Falcon shouts back and lifts up Bertio in the saddle. Falcon carries Bertio down the rickety stairs, down the big old stump. Milvus, Dr. Tornio, and his wife, the nurse Lulia, sit with Totte wrapped in a heat blanket by the warming fireplace. Dr. Tornio puts in an injection needle in Totte's arm with warmed up intravenous fluids. The nurse Lulia checks Bertio's hands and puts on heating gloves. Falcon prepares a bowl of salt pork and warm near beer and gives it to Bertio. Grandfather Troll keeps Bertio company as Falcon and Milvus sit by Totte. Totte and I were playing hide and seek, but then we got lost and asked the lantern man for help. But we didn't know he'd fool us like that. Bertio tells Grandfather Troll and sobs. Yeah, don't ever trust the lantern man. He can fool children and make sure they never get home again. As soon as the sun sets, please stay inside. Either inside the big old stump, the castle, or in Totte's house in the Gnome village. Lots of dangerous supernatural creatures are lurking in the dark that one has to be aware of, Grandfather Troll says. Totte wakes up and gets his normal skin color back. Dr. Tornio removes the needle from Totte's arm very carefully. This could have been a tragic ending, but you sure are a strong little gnome, Dr. Tornio says and smiles as he prepares to leave. Bertio did his best to keep me warm, Totte says smiling, and Bertio blushes. Falcon goes upstairs to Tassel to sleep, and Milvus steps outside to continue the night watch. Bertio sits down closely beside Totte with a warming blanket wrapped around him. What do you guys do? Bertio sits down closely beside Totte with a warming blanket wrapped around him. You're my very best friend, Bertio. And you're mine too, Totte, Bertio says and wraps his tail around Totte's waist. We'll always be friends forever, right? Yeah, forever. Grandfather Troll smiles and gets up off his armchair. Now, boys, let's go to bed, Grandfather Troll says and puts out all the candles. He adds more wood to the fire and closes the fireplace to avoid fire hazards. But in bed, Bertio has a hard time falling asleep. He thinks about what the lantern man called him and sheds a tear. Falcon enters the bedroom and kneels down beside Bertio. I can't stop thinking about the lantern man and what he called me, Bertio says, sobbing. Try to stop thinking about the lantern man and what he called you, Falcon says with a soothing voice. I know, but it still hurts, Bertio says, and more tears run down his cheeks. Falcon wipes the tears and strokes Bertio's head. The most important thing is that both you and Totte are safe. Hush now, close your eyes, and dream about happy things, like spring or summer, Falcon says, kisses Bertio gently on the forehead, and puts out the light from the lamp before going back to Tassel. Out in the cold, stormy blizzard, Milvus rides to the gnome village, knocking on Papa Gnome's door. Papa Gnome opens the door looking sleepy and rubs his eyes. Tote is found, and he's safe in the big old stump, Milvus says and smiles kindly. Oh, that's great. Then we don't need to worry. Good night, Milvus, Papa Gnome says and looks happy. Good night, Papa Gnome, Milvus says and nods. Then Milvus rides back to the troll forest, where Totte and Butteo dream sweet dreams in their warm bed inside the big old stump. So that was December 17 of Gnome Valley Christmas Adventures. And yes, it was probably offensive, but I hope you guys like this one, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.